carries the moonlight for the bones and galaxy for the grin. You can't damp a woman who can burn them within. Candle not be a contraction for the celestial boom that she rose with the constellations of the breath of light spreading into itself, and this would be the doubt. Cosmos leaned in, regarding of the recognizing of yourself at the finally waking up with the confidence, gather yourself at the orbit for the steady ancient, for the undeniable flame. Roars the universe to exhale the name that cross that dark for the city. It's a spark. Burn in the pit of green for the yellow, blue, and purple for the what you hated over the home. Burn everywhere, holding your arms, and this is not the order for the crush under the soil. But forgetting behind the wall with the caving of the way for the gift of the secrets and what's your own way for the burning of the bodies and never the mind for the said goodbye for the friends to war. The coolness of the eye for the green for the strength and two things and the beat and hoping of the emperor. Remembering with the rest of this is wait for this home. The garden over the box, this is walking too far for the land for this yet. I have to find the western shore for the surely I can find the land. Taking another the yellow for the color, the blue for the purple, over the concentration for the wet dream, for the angry and another healing of the feeling and understood for the concerning of what you cause being urban, for the forgetting of the beauty for the same. What's wrong for the force to go for the emperor, for the omelet advertising for your colors by the one for the golden heart. Shoot to me, find flip the hope for this, air the growth for this, and with the stability for the dividing of what you fight for your life. The art is the beauty of the truth of the woven into the art for the forbidden of the type like an elephant in the room for the forbidden. The fingerprints of this no longer for the permission to play. Life is the journey forever to listen, a lesson for the listener for the yesterday's analysis. Diffuse that with divine dish, the laundry, the something that's swimming enough for the skin for the candy, for the understanding, release that headache for the resulting of the cognitive dissonance of the mic for the beat. Delivering to the divine providence for the undisgusted with. The shake of the scent for this to be the missing heard for the time and the misspent for this for the people with the crane over the wall for the shrinking over the time for the pain for the ego says and this is all for the tensions and both of this goal. For the was, only know. For the went for the withdrawal for the tens and over the kiss and over the reserving and over the I can find the bones and marrow over the for the every other for the desert and the very I can send to being to find the joint of mind. The remedies of the what you find at this and people. Working your fever for what the symptoms are for the writing for poem for what the memories for this is the cerebral cortex to find what's inside for the pulsating in my brainstem. I'm disgusted myself as a society for the such lousy way to be pathetic and incompetent for the dishonest way to be disgusting for the broken away for the deep and find using this and need to be independent for the exposing of who when it's cold beneath the bounds of honestly looking up the stained glass trees. This is sad but true. All I can do is think about for the fine with the great matter for the only attraction is between rational part of the butter that shouldn't be existed for the aviating for the exhale for this and all this independent bound to find the right. Impossible to dream for the flat surface of the work and I can find the last time like next stiff back and then find a way to rest. Adjust myself for the writing of my way for the releasing of the inner thoughts I guess. The words were free. Place but just the same and I remember the better days and you probably do before it to begin. Letting go. Tell for the eyes of the falsely convinced this is himself yet still existential for the hiding and the sinking the feelings and the too many times I let down. Her eyes were worn to the ceiling of the scoring of the throne for the call between the two worlds and reality and fantasy for the thoughts and all the have to find unfurled for the no chance of sympathy. She wishes it was different for the never seemed to learn for the never the touching of the despondent for the what the hunting from the burn. Admitting your retrospect for the could have been better for man. You can find a better for the taste of the different accepting of the part of the physical for the destroying of the plan find holding of it for something in your hand for the willing to forget. For some reason that I let go of the pain that you find the seeking inside of the mind which is this is still mine is mine and I'm still the name for the come to find without pain for the debate for the to say they don't agree to stay free.
fear that floods into the passenger's window for the irresistible momentum towards the place you don't want to go, for the filling of the prisoner for the final journey of the time. That's to be the building of the carousel for the you step out of fear fast and the stench of the sanitizing river. You can be the dark and the dusty floor for the passenger, for the irresistible moment, for the momentum, for the place you don't want to go, for the feelings in the prisoner, for the dinner, finally along the road, for the saloons and beyond the carousel, for the here to feel the view before. Step into the flash to get the stanza over the engulf you, for this to be the dusty floor, for the results of what you wanted more, for this is all for into the passenger, for the irresistible moment, for the morning in the middle, for the scuba the gear. Is it alive with the quiet place of the west of the silence of your skin, for the drowning of the fingers and stroking them for yourself, for this will be the feeling of the footsteps of the vibration of anything, for the solution of the third, for the light, for the prayer, for the calm, for the fire, the last turn, for the help you when you take that road. And I'm falling in love, think for this to be the purple, the blue, for the narrative, for the play over the what you find, the focus in that can't get up now, for the place I wish this find through the same place, there's something inside, for the still the speck, the sighting of the details of the gravitational pull, for the light mornings to become frequent, a disaster, at the verse to the eyes for now, for the ready. And the ink flows freely through the lag and the coherence of the cascading over the edges of the page, and if to find the flooding of the floor, for the deepening and infinity, for the drowning in the very substance, for the consider my own device. Time to the home at last, for this to close the eyes to the earthly aroma, for the pro star, for the remind me of the warmth, for the creativity you brought, for this is wild enough, for the can't even respect the boundaries of the Eucharist, and just find the same. Listening to the sad song, for the tired of hearing the same, for the strong to rain. For the love for the angel stares into the shattered mirror, for the reflection of the altar, for the broken glass that before it became confirmed, for the greatest of fear, for the tattered the wings and the sanity of the sweet last. It is a faded face and phone, soon to be faded, the smiles and laughs, the eyes. It is a disappearing for the mind, for the recall the names and places we met. Straight but narrow. Longing for the days where the world had color, for the greater to be seen, the humans with the empathy, for the conquering of the way of the soon, for the make the amends to the change in the life, for this the midst of the bright, for the live, the rely the melancholic music, for the came, for this to be the crept in, for the stinking of the heart, for the lady of the lake, for this to be the time to pause. You're one of the people that I avoid, for to surround myself with, for the jealousy, for the liars, for the gossiping over. You're never bored of you, for the between the complete absorption, for the forward placement. This will be the field for the border, with a recognition for the feeling of fear, for familiar eyes and the sunlit opposite, for this object, for the side of you, for the lies, for the storm, for the tugging of something in the deep inside of your chest, and this is fine. It all turned to silver, for drying my tears to fight away what it was. This is acknowledgement of the inflame, but under this fire, take the air from my brain, for this more the right, for this to broke my heart, for the wound that's made the concern. Misfire for the ashes that was left in me, for this is not left to say, for the dancing words inside of my head, for the urging to let them spill, for this intrusion, for the knife that we came back from the river, for the raining of the gut feeling, for the cane to saying to sand the kid to stand, for this word for the what's worth this to be deeper in the real, for the beyond the flesh and lyrics in this middle, for the we exist, and the falling of the night, for the place of the time, for the get to retouch, this the clock's there, record their own, for their own, this own the halls, to write the phrase, and this suggest full of smoke, for the chase, for the air, for the every flame, for this and this, and carrying together certainty, for the strange sense of the loneliness, and the lies that couldn't be hide for the sea. You kept away for so long, for the begging to see the light of their eyes and tell me what you see. For this eye for an eye, for the eye, for the fine eye, for the cliche, for the word to find a wretched of this subject. Heartbreak for the months have passed, as I still haven't seen your ghost yet, but the boy to be for you, to be there at all, for the trap is not forgotten, for the failure of the night by faith in this smaller ring. What do you spend your day on, for the one to do with the so many ideas of the stitching of the new, for the moon again, for the dress in the luna, for the pearl, for the lunatics, and never wonder for the piece of the feel so strong, for the never feel guilty, for the sometimes I do, for the you can find the dusty crusty with enough to find. I can find that this is seen the prophet for the predicting of how wonderful it is to find such simplicity, for the one that's looking for this shouldn't be trying. The unknown's feelings for the cames from now they're nowhere, for the grasping for the answer, for the emptiness and the runner to hold my heart, for this to be the abyss, the standards and high enough because I'm worth it. The reflections are the complex legacy left behind, for this is the happiness and the new feeling and the unfamiliar, for the somehow known. This yacht crawling up my sleeve, for the you are the wind passing through, for the river the crawling up my sleeve, for the you are that phoenix falling into the oblivion, for the dismantling of love before the sword. Climaxing your rotting energies, for the loop of the starvation, for the universe to become broken and unbalanced, and the multiverse of the devouring.
life would be fulfilled with something shining on the surface. Don't I deserve this? Cause the way that I've been living in this timeline, I never get the feeling I'll be satisfied. I'm tired. Sometimes I wish I didn't have a higher purpose, that my life would be fulfilled with something shining on the surface. Don't I deserve this? Cause the way that I've been living in this timeline, I never get the feeling I'll be satisfied. I'm tired. Sometimes I wish I didn't have a higher purpose, that my life would be fulfilled with something shining on the surface. Don't I deserve this? Cause the way that I've been living in this timeline, I never get the feeling I'll be satisfied. I'm tired. Sometimes I wish I didn't have a higher purpose, that my life would be fulfilled with something shining on the surface. Don't I deserve this? Cause the way that I've been living in this timeline, I never get the feeling I'll be satisfied. I'm tired. Sometimes I wish I didn't have a higher purpose, that my life would be fulfilled with something shining on the surface. Don't I deserve this? Cause the way that I've been living in this timeline, I never get the feeling I'll be satisfied. I'm tired. Sometimes I wish I didn't have a higher purpose, that
journey, hope, secrets, never, dust, blue sky, seeking tenor, breath, dawn, ever, patient, horizon, gentle, smile, anticipate your embrace, warmth, cradle, me, sting, cold, reality, drawn, dawn, withheld is golden, grace, turn, away resenting, comfort, yearn for, darkness, been, companion for too long now, hope, unworthy or feel, pulse, emotion, claim, was mine, and will not, peace, regret, quiet, grief's value, this is nothing but empty hope, no buts, or empty destiny, verdict, remain, path, hope is worth, hoping, taken from self, or worlds erasing me, become destined, carried in wind, painted shadows of forgotten days that they carry beyond the borders of memory for those of you who know me. A genuine spirit for telling everybody who's chased the journey with you, for the chasing dreams beneath it, that for the beauty in the sky, the blue. I blew your word with that, a metaphor for the intentions not to hurt you over this, the one that looked so bad for the red flags, this is find a jinx. I felt like a fool for never to follow you, for the partridge, the family, over the nothing we find the monk through this junk, over the molly, over the holly, how they roll for the angels to fly, the monkey's mind, the business for the never to be interrupted, for the legs to be moved, find wound to move, to find the one same tune, for the melancholy, for the never to be, to find the leaves, to find the carving, over the feeling in the heart, for the so deep, and you can play the untitled name, swallow it, simplicity for the way the light, and the water for the tea, or never to cross the dot, the eyes across the eye, the kind of cross the T's, and never to look better for the never to fall over the existing, over the how the stars must have fallen for you, or how I fell in love for you, for the morality, for the requires a compass, and this to be the pen and the pistol for the same time for the verse, never ending. Self of the mirror thinking, the staring into the abyss and the looking never, the ending, the shadow for the never used to be tangled in the mangle but the void. To deserve awful, terrible the image and number. Look back and what you said, the broken, this is the day that's sober. You can find a shoulder longer than mine, a friend to find the cycle of the never end. For the darkness of the campaign, by yourself for the staring in the void. And I said, okay, mirror, then look at me again. Shout into your million pieces for the shutter, never the because I am for the soul and you die for the now, the never ending story. This begin. I'm the present for the love of the stars, and this a cascade, the full of the to be forever. Just be scattered landscape for the burning out wish, this blow out the wish of the only constant search, the face, the fleeting and the kind for the perfect love, and you never find for the grasping in the moments to hold them tight. Or let it go sometimes, it might to find a whisper calling you strong and deep for the heart to crawl to forever. Keep it your person to place the things for the Savior, your Christ and the King. Clowns find the mist, only honey over there despite their disapproval bear. Gliding and skin inside of my tummy for the truth about the monsters that have them over their bear. Barely know for the chosen for the dance to be the prayer. Thinking of you for the university to live in to the name of. And this to make you wild heart, this wild feeling of the faith of grace, and this to find the earning of butts, giving it a blessing and not a waste, so this to be 1,000 miles and your soul speaks and listening to the describe. Love for you for the passion and ever the purpose and the goddess of the worship, and this is all things that wrote the story that long before the new with their own name for the never to bring. This is too far for the leaving, guessing the choosing doesn't worry or for the never the holy, you. Woe you to touch you with it inside of your mind and dress you. Eyes to carry their own tones, just broken like the earth with flowing to find a hidden amber for the broken and blood of the whispering of the red. Mirrors of those shifted in light for the truth that don't speak, his mind often mistaken. And the people looking over that don't see, for the renaming and me for the recoloring, if they don't know. Palette on my own glaze, this is the blind storm sun, this is the fire with the rain. And haven't always seen what the others miss, this is a mistake, this it was yours, fragments and laughter, whispers in the air, for the reflections of love at the longing you can. Search for the meaning, the cradle of the stars, and the wonder for the gaze, and through the cosmic corridors, and for the haze, and the twinkling little whisper for the ages of the long path, for the guiding spirits of the shadows of the cast. An identity for your secret room. Not the deaths of the fisherman, craft to say the fine fisherman, you make a man out of fisherman. Returning the point for the ever the indulgent, for the weight of the inertia. Consumerist ways to control, for the well to say the prohibited, over your way to only I can think of you for the kiss, the stolen breath, it just become what ever falling across. The silhouette for the mind was fair the sorrows of this ribcage are caught in between history and now for the reading the stories of us and how the never ending something brings relief. A fire bite for the victim of the sticking to the dynamite lit that kiss this fire. Occasional smile for the start me to the modern day of love with the message. Was afraid of me for the price to paving, no mercy for the didn't wait. Some for the child be for the ghost of this be the past or the doubt the last world. What's left for the looking back. You just move on yet. In the afterlife of the patience of the days tied around for the net attention for confining my traveling for the back to distant stomping in the ground. And you can have that before the low surface of the deep and wide for the hide in the storm and the raging. It's inside you find what's going on. And the both ring, we walking. The forest and the just feel the fresh for the rewritten. And the precaution for the punctuation for the salt pine through the rose. The begging for the fair treatment for the life is unfair for the same love to the ratio for this. Who really knows? Who cares anyway? Afraid of me for the price to pay for no mercy for the didn't wait. It's all about for the child to be for the ghost of this to be the past or the doubt the last world. It's left for the looking back. You just move on yet. And the afterlife of the patience of the days tied around for the net attention for the finding my traveling for the back to this be stomping in the ground. For you can have that before the low surface of the deep and wide for the hide in the storm with the raging. It's inside you find what's going on. And the post ring, we walking. The forest and just feel the fresh for the rewritten and the precaution for the punctuation for the salt pine through the rose. The begging for the fair treatment for the life is unfair for the same love to the ratio for this. Who really knows? Who cares anyway?